Good morning. My name is Nancy Spencer, and this is my 15th and final year of living and working at Westminster School. I've known for a long time that I would be giving the last chapel of the school year. Mrs. Stevens asked me to do it last September, and I've been thinking about it for many months. As with so many things right now, this is not how I expected to be speaking with you. Nevertheless, I still appreciate the opportunity to give a chapel talk, and I consider myself lucky to actually be in the chapel to do it. The original title for this chapel was going to be Standing in My Spot. As many, maybe most of you know, I usually stand at the back of the chapel, by the door, and I especially enjoy watching everyone process out, 2 by 2. I notice who has linked arms, give a quick wave to my advisees, and say hi to anybody who establishes eye contact with me. It's just a thing I do. In fact, I was going to end this chapel by walking from here to my spot while Mr. Kriz played the recessional and then watch everyone walk out one last time. My theme was going to be how you are remembered once you leave Westminster. It's a concept we stress to the sixth formers from their very first day as seniors. What will be their legacy? How will you impact the school? And what will be felt about you after you're gone? Teachers feel this way too, at least I do, as I end my time at Westminster. And this thought has led me to think about the names of buildings. Now, I want to say from the very beginning that there are a lot of people who have been at Westminster way longer than I have. But 15 years is still a long time, and I have had the chance to develop deep bonds with many members of this community. I've seen the physical structure of this campus change dramatically. And one of the things that has struck me is that some of these new buildings have, over time, gone from being simply the names of people I know and love to simply being the names of buildings. It's jarring sometimes that newer students and faculty members will casually mention a place on campus, but the name of that place actually conjures up a person for me. I see their faces. The Shack, or the Sherwin Health and Athletics Center, which is the official name of the building that houses the pool, is named for Jack Sherwin, who was a trustee when I arrived and board chair for many years before then. My first year, he gave an astonishing commencement address about how he watched graduation from under a tree on commencement lawn because he never actually finished his senior year at Westminster. Cole Library evokes Graham Cole, headmaster before Mr. Phillip and the man who actually hired me. It blew me away that Mr. Cole flew from Bradley Airport to BWI Airport to interview me for the very first time. Many of you remember Caroline Kelter, who graduated last year. But when I see Kelter House, I think not only of Caroline, but also of her older sisters, Catherine and Libby. Libby was my advisee, and I think of Libby on her very first day at Westminster when she was so homesick and miserable. And I think about how much she flourished during her time at Westminster, and I marvel at the young woman that she has become. I think of Dick and Barbara Adams every time I walk into Adams' dining room. As the Dean of Faculty, Dick Adams was a wonderful mentor and friend to me and to so many, many faculty members. Something Dick said at his commencement speech has always stuck with me. In his remarks, Dick gave a special shout out to the families of faculty members. He especially thanked faculty children for sharing their parents with Westminster kids. All of these people left a lasting legacy on me, certainly, but also on Westminster that far exceeds the buildings and spaces that bear their names. So that was going to be my chapel talk. I was going to go into so much more detail and tell funny stories and give lots of shout outs. I imagined having to pause for all the laughter and applause. But in the past few weeks, I've been reflecting not so much on legacy, but more about what I'm going to miss from Westminster. I feel such a strong connection to this year's sixth form because it was going to be our senior spring. And part of senior spring is saying goodbye. It's counting down the days while enjoying them. It's recognizing all the lasts. It's anticipating the fun stuff that comes at the end of the year. And we are not going to get that. And it stinks, and it's sad, and it's so very frustrating. But here's what I do know. So much of what makes up life at Westminster isn't the big moments. Of course, nothing can replace commencement and lawn ceremony and receiving line. I know that. But what is really going to stick with me, and I think with many of you, are the smaller moments that make up our daily lives. I think of 10 p.m. For boarders, 10 p.m. has a special resonance, or at least it should. I think about that moment right after everyone has checked in. You've marked off the last name on the clipboard, and there's a sense of, okay, I have everybody, we're good. And then it's on to the next thing. Often there's a feed, some kind of food, and usually there are kids in the common room just talking about their day or hanging out. A small moment. I think about my daily commute from Cushing to Armour, up 2 flights of stairs to my 3rd floor history classroom. Now, I'm in pretty good shape. I run, I bike, but those stairs get me every time. I'm winded by the time I get to the top. And it's partly because the whole way up, I'm saying hello to people. Hi, Miss Spencer, comes my way at least a dozen times during my trip. And I admit, I love it. That feeling of being known, of being recognized, of being greeted every time. A small moment. And then my favorite time of the day, setting the table for family-style lunch. I like to go early to family-style lunch, and I head over to my table in the back corner. I put out the plates, the napkins, the knives, the forks, and the cups. It's clean, and it's sunny, and quiet, and very soothing. Gradually, more and more people arrive, and as you look around, you see other tables being prepared for lunch, faculty members setting their own tables. That was the original plan. But what has evolved over the past 3 years is that kids are starting to set the table. It's become a thing. Whoever gets there first starts setting the table, and then others pitch in as they arrive. It doesn't matter what form you're in. It's not based on gender. Everybody does it. To me, this is the pure essence of community, made even more special because it's an organic thing. Nobody told the students they had to do it. They just did. It's a mindless chore that we all do together every day, just like a family. To me, it's a magic moment, and one that I will miss so much. And here's the thing about these small moments. We all have them. Yours are probably different than mine. It could be the bus ride home after a game, ordering with a friend, playing charades in the atrium. It's these moments that are so deeply embedded in our memories. Moments that happen every day. You already have them. They are yours forever. Nothing can diminish them or take them away. And when you look back, it's those moments that really make up our lives on the Hill. Those feelings, those connections, those relationships. They, not the buildings, not the ceremonies, not even the grades that you get. They are what make up your Westminster experience. And it's those moments that I'm going to miss so very much. To all the students, faculty, and staff members, if I don't get to say goodbye to you in person or individually, please know that I send you my very best wishes for the future, and that you will be in my heart and mind as I head off into this new stage of life. Sixth formers, you have my admiration for leading the school with such grit and grace in these unique and challenging times. Rest assured, your legacy is intact. You have proven that martlets fly together no matter what. Thank you all so much, and goodbye.